Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about PlayStation 2 emulation on Android with NetherSX2. Now this is just a PSA, we've talked about this one before, but for some reason it's still on the Google Play Store. NetherSX2 Emulator Alpha is not the real deal. This is 100% horse crap. To be honest with you, I've got no idea how this is still on the Google Play Store, considering it's been reported a whole bunch of times by a whole bunch of different people, including the people working on NetherSX2 who reported this as impersonation. At this point in time, this has over 500 downloads, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but at $10 a pop, the developer on this one is making quite a bit of money. NetherSX2 is 100% free and open source. There is no profit being made off this. It's available on GitHub and not on the Google Play Store. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to the official thing in the description below and feel free to check it out. Now, one of the many good things about the Google Play Store is the fact that it doesn't have the same restrictions as Apple's App Store, but at the same time here, that means it's kind of opened the floodgates for garbage apps. I mean, we've got fake PS4, PS5, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and many more apps on the Play Store here that really shouldn't be there. Next up, we're talking about Valve's worst kept secret, and that's their upcoming game Deadlock, which now has an official Steam Store page. Now, unfortunately, the Steam Store page doesn't have a whole lot of information yet, which really isn't that unexpected. I mean, the game is still in super early access and is very locked down. However, if you wanted to see gameplay, you can check out YouTube with a ton of videos about this game. Deadlock is a 6v6 hero shooter, but that might change moving forward. There is no release date, there's no price, there's no final assets, there's not really even system specs listed for this game. Next up, we're talking about a brand new portable gaming controller called the Atom, and it's by CRKD. And this one is tiny. It'll fit in the palm of your hand and also act as a keychain. If I take a look at the specs here, it's for Switch, PC, mobile, and smart TV. It connects via Bluetooth and charges via USB-C. It's got 10 hours of battery life, 4 shoulder buttons, and a wrist strap included. Additionally, there's a whole bunch of different colors available for this one, my favorite I think being this Pal Gray edition. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been able to test these ones out yet, but at the same time here at this price point, they're about $20 in the States, I think 28 in Canada. At this price point, there's also the 8BitDo Micro Bluetooth Gamepad. And on top of that, there's also the 8BitDo 02. Both of these can be used as keychains, and I've tested both of these ones out, and I'd say they're okay. Not comfortable because they're so small, but at the same time here, if you're looking for a Bluetooth gamepad that can function as a keychain or want something super portable, these come in handy pretty good. Next up, we're talking about Dragon Age The Veilguard, and if you're excited about this game, the Dragon Age YouTube account has just released a new video called Dragon Age The Veilguard, High Level Combat Parts 1 to 4. And it gives you an insight as to what the combat is going to look like in this game. This game is headed to PS5, Xbox, PC, but no Nintendo Switch, and will be releasing on October 31st of this year. We've got a lot of game releases this October. Next up, we're talking about Gamecube modding and TechDweeb. And TechDweeb had a tweet the other day, or X the other day, I forget what they're called now. Anyways, he says, an old Gamecube has found its way into my possession. Help me out. What's the best easy way to mod this thing and get some homebrew and backups running on it? And I've got the perfect answer to this question. And that would be the Flippy Drive, which is just released, and it's a tiny PCB that sits between the optical drive and your GameCube and lets you use a micro SD card. The Flippy Drive is up on crowdsupply.com, and I think they just sold through their initial batch and are looking towards their next batch. This thing costs only $38 for just the base kit here. There's no soldering required, and it seems pretty simple to set up. Let me know your thoughts about the Flippy Drive in the comments below. Moving on, and we're talking about System 76 and the brand new desktop environment Cosmic, and this is currently in alpha. You can try it out yourself. And if you are interested in it, apparently you can run Celeste in the sidebar. We've got Celeste running in the sidebar of an alpha desktop environment before we've got GTA 6. The Cosmic desktop environment is 100% free, it's open source, it's written in Rust, and it's available for a whole bunch of Linux distributions. I've tested out Cosmic, it's very snappy, although it's still in alpha and there are some bugs, it's still pretty darn good. I sometimes have a Cosmic shirt, not today, but at the same time here, I do recommend checking it out. And speaking about development stuff, next up here, we're talking about something I'm not sure if many people will be interested in who watch this video, but at the same time here, at least it's worth reporting on. The DC Roma Pad 2 for native RISC-V development has been announced. DC stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or DeepComputing. The tablet itself starts at $150 here for 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage. If you boost it up to 8 gigs of RAM, it's another $50, or 16 gigs of RAM for $250. It is worth pointing out that this isn't meant for gaming and heavy-duty computing or really anything like that. It's more for RISC-V development. But if you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to it in the description below and let me know your overall interest in something like this. And speaking about announcements, next up we're talking about a new game announcement from Ubisoft, and this one's the Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. There's a brand new announcement trailer for it up on YouTube, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Now, taking a look at the gameplay here in the footage, I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but at the same time here, it just doesn't look as robust as I thought it was going to. I mean, taking a look at the gameplay and graphics here, and I want to say it looks a little bit bare and thin, and I'm wondering if this is the final product or just alpha footage or what exactly is going on. But honestly here, it looks kind of, and maybe I'm off base on this one, but it kind of looks like some of that shovelware stuff we see on Android. Let me know your thoughts about this one though in the comments below. Are you on board with this? Are you excited about it? If you've played the previous ones, are you looking forward to this new announcement or this new game? But moving on from that, and well, I guess before we move on from that, I just want to say I was a fan of the older Heroes of Might and Magic games and not necessarily the most recent ones. But anyways, moving on from that, next up we're talking about FuzzBall on Xbox. Now this game was $20 and then it was $10 and now it's free on Xbox. Now this game has been out for a while and I wouldn't necessarily say it was ever a contender for anything like Game of the Year, but at the same time the price of free is the best price out there unless they're paying you to take the game. And if you've got some young ones you wanted to play the game with, this might be some fun. Moving on, and we're talking about some VR stuff. And if you were looking forward to Meta competing against the Apple Vision Pro, you're going to be disappointed by this news. So Meta was reportedly working on a device to compete with the Apple Vision Pro. And it's been reported that Meta told employees to stop working on it. So here's a quote from Meta. "We have many prototypes in development at all times, but we don't bring all of them to production. We move forward with some, we pass on others. Decisions like this happen all the time, and stories based on chatter about one individual decision will never give the real picture." I'm not going to lie here. I am very curious to know why Meta didn't move forward with this one. Was it the price to construct versus how much they could sell it for and how many people were going to buy it? Or was the technology just not going to be good enough? I guess we'll never know. Next up, if you're itching for some new Zelda Echoes of Wisdom footage, then I've got you covered. Well, Nintendo does. They've just dropped a new tweet or X here with some footage of Faron Wetlands, and yeah, it looks pretty good. This game is releasing on September 26th, so not too much longer now, and the areas here, what I've seen from the game so far, I think this one's going to be a hit. And speaking about release dates and hits, or hitting rather, next up we're talking about Tales of Iron Whiskers of Winter. This is an upcoming indie game, and we've now got a release window for it, February of 2025. This is a hack and slash, and yeah, it looks pretty interesting. And on a side note right now, Steam is having their Indie Arena Booth 2024. It happens between, well, right now we're smack dab in the middle of it. It's between August 21st and August 25th. And you might find your next indie game you're very interested in. I mean, on this page, there's a whole bunch of indie games. Some are on sale, some are not, some haven't even released yet. But at the same time here, if you're a fan of indie games, this may be worth checking out. And speaking about stuff that hasn't released yet, next up we're talking about MySims, which has apparently leaked online here on a few different retailers. This game may be set to release on November 19th of this year. But that's just for the Switch. I mean, this game came out back in 2007. MySims was previously released on the Nintendo DS and also Nintendo Wii, and I'm curious now if MySims Party will also hit the Switch. And speaking about the Switch, next up we're talking about Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Now this game is set to release pretty soon, just on September 6th, but a new demo has popped up on the Switch eShop. And I am told here that the save data will transfer from the demo to the full game. Next up, if you're a Persona fan, you might like this piece of news here. It was a big surprise from Atlas. Here's the tweet. Bet you never saw it coming. Go head to head with a familiar face in the brand new episode Aegis The Answer Challenge Battle. So yeah, Joker is going to be in this game, and a lot of people seem very excited about this one. It will be releasing on September 10th. And last up here, we're talking about a pretty big gaming rumor right now for the upcoming G.I. Joe Snake Eyes game. And it's reported that it could be an open world game because of a job posting. So all of the rumors online are stemming from this senior world level designer posting up on Hasbro.com. And at the time of filming, the posting is currently open. And people are saying that, yeah, the new G.I. Joe game is going to be open world because of this. Now, while that's all fine and dandy, if anyone watching this video is a game designer here or a level designer, here's the starting pay. It starts at $104,160 and it ends at $175,920. So I'll drop a link to this in the description below in the event that you're looking for a senior world level designer role. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.